is some of these things that we're fighting about sound a bit unbelievable. They sound like what some people might call a conspiracy theory. But actually, I think we're at the stage where so-called conspiracy theories are becoming reality. For example, everything's going digital, isn't it? All of a sudden, they're expecting you to get your doctor's treatment, and I spoke to a dear couple who've now actually gone. I spoke to them just about 10 minutes ago on the very bench seat next to us here, and there they are over there, and they were saying, one of them is saying that they've got prostate cancer and their treatment had been delayed because everything's been delayed through the NHS. And the other one was having trouble getting to see a doctor and getting treatment because they had vertigo. Hi there, good afternoon. And this is just two examples, this last 20 minutes, about the poor service for individuals. And we've got to remember this with the backdrop of an elite who are earning so much money they don't want to do. Remembering it's a government that just made a tax break for the most wealthy not to get taxed on their pensions. I mean, I ask you, how in touch are they not? I don't think. It's just ridiculous what's going on. But the trouble is, because we're a very polite nation, we just go along with it. And I'm not trying to incite a riot. I'm not interested in that. There's no interest in having violence. But the point is, just like us, we're voluntary. You can actually get out there and think what it is that you can do to let people know about what's going down. Because what's going down is our whole society, whilst the people at the top carry on getting rich. And I heard a very strange thing on another subject today, very strange thing, about people who unfortunately got damaged by the COVID vaccine. And it's a fact that a lot of people did get damaged by the COVID vaccine, but the government's yellow card system, which was designed to monitor this, has just now, in the last 2 days, been disbanded by the government. I mean, what on earth are they thinking about to do that? It can hardly cost anything to run that system, because it's probably just a website. You go into it, type in your details, and then it's filed. It'll be mostly automated. It doesn't need much of a cost to run. Okay, the ONS, the Office for National Statistics, will pull out figures, but not much. What it does mean, though, is that someone had the sentiment somewhere to obfuscate that information from the general public. And we have to remember this with the backdrop that premature deaths in the UK, the last year have gone up 16%. I don't know whether you knew that. 16%. In Germany it's 18%. In Australia it's 22%. Unexpected premature deaths. Now, I ask you, what is going on there? I'm just putting these questions, and I want you to just go away and think about it, because it's not straightforward. Something is going on. The carbon plan for Devon has got lots of dodgy stuff in it. A lot of the people here today, we're all volunteers, a lot of the people today are railing against the 15-minute city proposal to limit the transport of individuals in the city so that you can't move outside without either getting special dispensation, and if you do move outside, you risk getting fined. Now, this isn't hearsay. The trial for this is already being run in Oxford. This is already happening in Oxford. If you type into the web, Oxford 15-minute, 20-minute cities, Oxford 15-minute, 20-minute cities, you'll find out all about this. And it's not a pretty picture. And again, it's another thing that doesn't quite add up. And Scott was mentioning 5G. Now, some people argue there's nothing wrong with 5G, but as a trained engineer, I know there is a sort of technology which actually isn't healthy for you. And that's not made up, that's fact. It's not healthy for you. And it's not even necessary, because we can do everything we want to do with 4G, can't we? I mean, if once we could go on forever, carry on making technology so it's incredibly fast, but the thing is, it's not healthy for the human body. I'll just tell you one thing about 5G that you might not know. I don't know what you think about the telephone masts which you see on the hills, which give us 4G. Okay, when it gets to 5G, guess where the telephone masts have to be? They have to be on every single lamp post. The 5G has to be at the top of every single lamp post. And that's not me spinning a story, it's the truth. You've only got to think, hey, hang on a minute. If there's a transmitter at the top of that post there, that can't be very good for me, can it? And I'll tell you one reason why they might be doing this. They might be doing it because they want to run driverless cars. And driverless cars need so much data to stop them running off the road, you have to use 5G, because 5G can carry much more data in a given time. This is not hearsay, trained engineer, so I know what I'm talking about as far as one can do. So the 5G is capable of running a driverless car, but you can't have 5G further than a lamppost away, because it's blocked by buildings. They stop the transmission. So in other words, car would come to a stop. So there are lots of reasons. I mean, you imagine how much does it cost to put 5G into lamppost? Phenomenal amount. There's got to be a payback. Unfortunately, we live in a world where no one does anything unless there's a payback. And the payback is they're going to be renting out airspace to those people who want to run driverless cars, which is all suspicious in its own right. Someone told me about driverless cars that one of the reasons they're doing it, and I hadn't thought it until they said it, is because you can limit people's travel. If you're the person who's running the web that runs the driverless car, you can pull the plug and say, oh, I'm sorry, today you have to stay in Teignmouth because the internet to Newton Abbot has stopped. So if everybody's in a driverless car, can't go anywhere, just got to stay in Newton Abbot, Teignmouth for the day. It's very easy to start restricting people if you put the control in the hands of a centralised system. Anyway, the thing I'm most upset about at the moment is the 15-minute cities, 20-minute cities. If you want to hear more about it, please come over and grab a leaflet. They're all free. We're all here for voluntary. We also run a radio station. If you ask for a leaflet, we'll give you the radio station leaflet. You can go on there and leave your own opinion. You're most welcome to. Thank you for listening.